What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at this fairly new release from Mafex, and that is the Batman Bane. Not Batman Bane, it's Bane from Batman. I cannot pinpoint this exact costume design where it's from. Quite frankly, I'm just not a big DC guy, and I don't know that much about it. Like, I was looking for comparisons. I don't own a single Batman figure, which is absolutely wild, so I will compare it to other figures, of course, when it comes to the size comparisons and everything, so you can see a few poses. But I'm very excited to get this guy open. I mean, I've heard such great things about this figure that I bought it, even though I rarely collect Mafex and I don't collect DC. So I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and crack this thing open. Also, special shout out to Smash Lab Creations over on Instagram for hooking me up for this, since I missed the pre-order on it and he had another one in stock. So I was able to scoop it for retail, which was pretty insane. So let's go ahead and get this out of the package and take a look at all the accessories and do some cool size comparisons. Alright, so now that I have him out of package, the first thing I can say is, holy crap, this is a big hunkin' piece of plastic. But it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. This thing moves so fluid. It had a lot of plastic wrap, like trash, in between the joints where you can easily just, you know, pop them apart. So there's no paint rub in transit. And I think with all those preventatives being put in place, I only had just the smallest little piece of paint rub, and it wouldn't have even been prevented from the plastic wrap. And there's just a tiny black speck right there on that vein. But that I can live with. I mean, let's be real, I'm not going to nitpick like that, especially on a figure this expensive. Like, it was a $20 figure, like the wrestling figures I do or some of the Marvel Legends, I can just go get a replacement. I'm not going to go get a replacement of this because of that. I can live with that. Bane comes with a crazy amount of accessories. We have seen more from Mafex, but the fact that we get as many as we do with a figure this big is kind of insane. He comes with an alternate head. It does have these smaller eyes. These look like they're a little more focused in, whereas the ones that come on the figure in the packaging look like they're bigger. Of course, it has the thicker white lines here. It has the thicker red lens here. So if you are wanting to decide between the two of those, that is your option, of course. As far as the other accessories, he comes with the two fisted hands that you see right here, which is just, I mean, you could just take him out of the package and leave him basically like that, and it would do everything that you need it to be. But of course, you want the options that we all want. He comes with the two relaxed hands down hands. I like these a lot. It's a very simple design, and it might be my favorite one, honestly. And they just easily pop onto that little peg there. This is how they store them in the packaging. You can store them in your storage like this, or put them back in the box, however it is that you keep yours. He also comes with two, I'm going to call them slapping, karate chopping hands. I don't know what Bane might use these for, but we will figure it out, I'm sure, once we do some posing around. I do like these, not nearly as much as the other ones we just saw. This one here, I see this as Bane calling his shot. You know, he's pulling up on somebody, he's pointing at him over there in the corner. You know what? You're next. I'm getting you. Because this dude is just a roided out freak, let's be honest. Or at least he was in that one movie. But either way, these are pretty cool. I don't know how much use you're going to get out of these, but it is nice to also have options, as we all know. Then he has two grabbing hands. This is when you want to break Batman's back, obviously. The famous comic book cover from that. These are really cool. It's just nice to have good grappling, grabbing hands, because Bane does look like a classic luchador, which is really cool. So we will compare him to a wrestling luchador just because, you know, we kind of have to here on the channel. And then he has just two bigger grabbing hands. You see the difference between the two? You could also use these as relaxed hands, but I do think the first ones that we showed off are going to be your better option for just hands down by the side. I do like those a lot. For future reviews, I'm probably going to get a tape measure so I can show you guys just how tall he is. But I'll show you the size comparisons at the end. I got some, let's see, some Jada Toys, another Mafex figure, and a Marvel Legends figure that I'm going to compare him with. But let's get into the articulation. Now, I was worried out of the package with this hose coming from the back of the head, down the back, down to the arm, strapped into there, and then leading into the arm gauntlet. I was concerned it was going to hinder articulation. But as you can see, that is not going to happen at all. Bane can get around and do anything he wants to, because when you're this big, you can just kind of throw things around as you please. Of course, you're going to have the same articulation with the other hand here, all kind of rotation there. You got the nice butterfly joint. I'm very happy this does not hinder it. I don't know. I didn't even think to double check. Okay, so this is actually a removable face plate, not an alternate head. I don't know why I didn't think to name that at first. So it pops apart right there at the ear seam, and then you will pop that in there. And you can see a little bit of a seam. I didn't try and overdo it at the moment. And that is how, so you don't even have to worry about the hoses in the back to where he's getting his strength. You don't have to worry about that at all. That's nice. Also, there's back hair painted on here, which is a nice addition. It's continuing on to the butterfly joints, into the traps, the shoulders, the biceps, the forearms, the elbows even. It's sculpted on the elbows. Oh no, that might just be like skin wrinkling. That is awesome. Of course, it's going to continue to the other side. If you're going to put that little detail over here with all the extra stuff, you're going to put it in the bare arm as well. No chest hair, which is definitely a choice. I don't know the reasoning behind that. As far as bending around, Bane can move. He can get down in a hunched over, like, fighting pose. Like, you really aren't going to have many limitations with this figure. He can get down pretty nice if he's just wanting to put the hurting on somebody very, very low. Bane is a towering dude, so that's why I'm anxious to see the size comparisons. I have not done those yet. And I always compare it for the wrestling figures. I like to see how far my boy can kick up, and he's kicking for the stars. He's going to deliver that big boot to Kane, just like it's 1997 all over again. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so the articulation's great. You saw the way that everything moves. You got the nice ankle pivot. No boot swivel, which sucks. Knees kick all the way back, all that great stuff. But I'm most excited for some size comparisons, and I want to know what you guys think about those. So we know Bane is a larger character, so let's go ahead and compare him to your standard Marvel Legends 6-inch scale. This is from the Retro Spider-Man carded series that came out this year. One of my sleeper favorite suits. I don't really know why. The Last Stand Spider-Man. I do love this size comparison because Spider-Man does fight people that are way bigger than him. Bane typically fights people that are smaller than him. This is a nice comparison. I like this look a lot. I do love this. If I had to nitpick, Bane would probably be just a quarter of an inch, maybe half an inch taller, but this is my first time having a Mafex big figure, so I am excited. Let's go ahead and compare him to his Dark Knight Rises iteration from the movie, where Tom Hardy, I believe, played him. And as you see, the height comparison there is insane. Is Spider-Man that much taller than that old Bane figure? I guess, I expected this Bane to be about that height. So for them to be this big of a discrepancy really does throw me off. Like, don't get me wrong, this Bane suit here looks really cool. This is obviously just comic book overload right here. This is definitely a more grounded approach. I don't really care for the mask. I love the coat, the tactical and everything, because this just wouldn't really relay on TV that well. But it is crazy to see that there's this big of a height difference from two things that are supposedly in the same line coming from Mafex. So that is definitely an option. I don't know what they were thinking there. And then a recent big fig I got, I was going to do the Luke Cage from the Marvel Legends 2-pack that just came out, but I have not opened it up yet. And the next thing on the review stage here is the Jada Toys M. Bison from Street Fighter. And I just wanted to see how our boy scaled up against Bane. And wow, Bane is towering over him as well. Let's see how Spider-Man scales about with M. Bison. So that's throwing me off too. Is M. Bison supposed to be bigger? I mean, obviously he's supposed to be bigger. Maybe the figure's just short. I don't know. I've seen somebody play around with some Z-Toys bodies to compare, you know, upgrades for M. Bison, but that's not who we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Bane, and I think this comic book Bane is absolutely unreal. Definitely a must-have if you're even the slightest Batman fan. because this thing is just, it's aggressive. That's all I can really say about it. It demands attention when you see it on a shelf. Oh, that's right. I wanted to compare it to, let's see, a luchador figure, since it's kind of what it's inspired from. And what other luchador are we going to compare it to besides the classic Rey Mysterio? And that looks good. Bane even towers in the WWE line, which is great. I don't think it's going to tower over somebody that's on the taller scale, like Dominic here. No. I mean, he's still bigger, though. I don't know. This figure is just absolutely jacked. The muscle definition is absolutely insane, and I don't know if they're going to be able to reuse any parts from this. But that is going to be it for my Mafex Bane review. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Special shout out to Smash Lab Creations for hooking me up with this. And last but not least, take it easy.